Welcome to our adventure book where we help you turn family travel dreams into unforgettable memories. We are your host. I'm Jenny,
And I'm Eve.
and this podcast is designed to help take the stress out of family travel. So let's get started.
Yay, let's get started. In today's episode, we're going to share some of our personal favorite rides at each Disney World park. So, this is going to be a fun episode because everybody has different favorite rides for different reasons, and I'm excited to hear all about yours. So,
Yes, this is so fun.
let's jump right in. And Jenny, tell me about Hollywood Studios. What do you like to do there?
I love a lot of the rides at Hollywood Studios, but I have to say my favorite ride is probably Toy Story Mania. And I just love riding that with my family, the competition that it kind of stirs up. It's just a really classic ride for us. I can remember going on it like the first time with my kids, how they thought it was the most amazing ride. The technology for them was just so fun. That is probably definitely a must do for us every time we visit.
I agree. That's a must do for us too. And it's also a really fun one if you're doing like multi-generational because the grandparents really get into that one as well. My parents love that ride.
Yeah, I think it's good for all ages. It's just timeless.
Yep. Yep. I love it.
What
Well,
about you?
awesome. Okay, my favorite one at Hollywood Studios, which is surprising to me because I had like this fear of falling thing like in high school. But as an adult, I went back on the Tower of Terror and I got so tickled that it became my favorite ride. When for a couple of years, I wouldn't even do it. So just go try those rides again, even if you don't like things like that, because experiencing it with my kids was so, so fun. And when you and I went on that one, and we have that really funny picture, that they took where I'm like clinging to your arm, I just giggle. I giggle about that ride. And then just a little heads up, that one can be a very long line. So if you can get a lightning lane for it, it's a tier one high priority ride, but I do recommend getting a lightning lane for Tower of Terror.
It's so fun. I love the theming of that ride too, just the old haunted hotel. It's so fun. And to me, it's like classic Hollywood Studios, whereas Hollywood Studios has kind of changed into a lot of IP. I like that they kept that the same, just like kind of a classic old Hollywood feel.
Yeah, you get that throwback like Twilight Zone and the spooky voice and kind of all the old
Hmm.
school stuff that has stood the test of time.
For sure. Okay, so let's move on to Animal Kingdom. Eve, what's your favorite ride at Animal Kingdom?
Okay, at Animal Kingdom, I feel like so many people love this ride, but it's got to be Avatar Flight of Passage. It's just amazing. You get on this 3D flying simulator where you fly over the land of Pandora. You're riding on a banshee. You have, the wind blowing on you. And also, when you go on that ride, take a second to kind of like lean forward and like look over and see all the rows of people in there. I'm like fascinated at behind the scenes stuff. And so I'm always like looking at everybody else and what they're doing, but you get totally swept away into this whole other world. If you get there and you gotta wait in this super long 2 to 4 hour, line, do it. We've actually never ridden that one without a lightning lane, so I highly, highly recommend that one. Or you can get there really early. Like we have a teen who loves Disney World, and he will like go to the park on his own on the bus. And he was like, "I've already ridden Flight of the Passage twice before we even get to the park." But yeah, that's my favorite. How about
It's
you?
so fun. The smells are so good, and just Pandora in general is such a nice part of Animal Kingdom.
So pretty.
My favorite ride is Expedition Everest. I think this might be like Disney's most thrilling actual traditional coaster. Disney has a lot of other thrilling rides, but this is like a traditional coaster, and I just love it. I've rode it so many times. However, I always still get excited when you go up, 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 and then they bring you back down backwards, and you get to ride it backwards for a little bit. It's just so much fun. Definitely beware if you have smaller kids. It might be a little bit too much for them. We took my daughter on it when she was, I guess, 8, and she didn't cry, but she didn't love it, and it took her until just this last year that she rode it again because she was a little bit scarred. That was a little too intense, but it's such a fun ride. That's such a nice part of Animal Kingdom as well. And if you're willing to get in the single rider line, this is my favorite single rider line out of all the rides. You will get on so quick, and it will allow you to ride it multiple times. Even if you have a lightning lane and you want to ride it again, definitely go single rider.
That's a great tip. Another one too, just getting I feel like getting to Animal Kingdom first thing in the morning is like, we went and rode that ride without Lightning Lane, 5-minute wait. I mean, almost practically walked on, and that's a fun one every time, I agree.
Yeah, and it's a fun one to rope drop too because everyone is rope dropping Flight of Passage or the Safari. So people really
True.
don't head over there necessarily. Another thing is Animal Kingdom right before closing is fantastic because so many people will kind of go and spend maybe the first half of the day there and leave. A lot of people don't stay for the evening. And so it can kind of empty out a bit. So you can ride these rides multiple times.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun to ride multiple times, because you're there at Disney and sometimes you think, "Oh, I can only do this one ride this one time with this one Lightning Lane," or whatever. But, if you keep taking all these little tips and everything, you can get in there and ride them multiple times.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, let's slide over to Epcot. Jenny, I know what your favorite ride is at Epcot.
My favorite ride is Cosmic Rewind, and this is my favorite ride in all of Disney. I love this ride so much. I love that you get a different song each time you ride it, so you have a completely different experience based on the song you get. The only thing I don't love about this ride is how long the pre-shows are, especially if you ride it multiple times. But overall, this is just my number one ride. It is so much fun. I highly, highly, highly recommend buying the single pass for this. It's so worth it. Because the line can be pretty long.
Yes, yes. That's a great ride. I had so much fun riding that with you because you love it so much. And you were like, oh, it's got this many, 4 songs. And I've ridden it with this song and this song and this song. And I was like, no clue. Like, had never even paid attention that there were different songs, what was going on. I just like that that ride is pretty like smooth the way you
Mhm.
slide around. But I do get a little bit motion sick. And so if you have tendencies towards that, just be aware. Maybe I got like those little wristbands where you can push the little magnet on it. I never got sick or anything like that, but that is one that could affect you that way.
Yeah, because it has screens, and screens can be a big trigger for motion sickness. Plus, it is very turny. Lots of
Yes.
turning. But it
Yes.
is smooth. So if you have like someone traveling in your party that might not be able to ride like a rickety coaster like Space Mountain, this is a great option if they like coasters and they want a nice smooth ride because it is perfectly smooth.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one. All right, this one might be a little surprising, but when I kept thinking about Epcot, I mean, I love Ratatouille, but then I was like, what's the ride I want to do every time I go to Epcot? And it's the simple little spaceship Earth in the big Epcot ball. I love that it's just kind of iconic, that you can slow down. It's nice and cool in there. I think it's so pretty with like the stars that they fill up and just kind of going through like the old school Disney scenes. It's about 15 minutes that you go through like the history of human communication. And then I think it's fun when you get to pick your little things as you're going along and they
Yes.
put your head on this stuff and you're kinda I don't know, it's just, like, simple dreaming and relaxing, so I love Spaceship Earth, um, but then I also gotta say, it's not really a ride, but I freaking love the Skyliner. Like, I could just ride around on the Skyliner all day long, and then going out of Ratatouille and then jumping on it right there, I'm counting that as a favorite ride.
Oh, that is definitely one of your favorite rides because when we went on our trip and I'm like, Eves, what's one thing you really want to do? You said ride the Skyliner.
That's so ridiculous.
I'm like, that we can make that happen. I think that's fantastic. I think that might be your favorite ride out of all the parks.
That That might be. I think too, because, like, when you have memories associated with different rides, like
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that for the first time with my family when we went with, like, all 4 of my kids and my parents, and we could all get on one, and my mom was so happy not to get on the bus, and you've got the air blowing in, and you can be there at sunset, and you can, like, just look around. It's just so relaxing, and they've decorated it so cute. Okay, yeah. I love the Skyliner.
It's a great ride. What can you say? All right, let's move over to Magic Kingdom. I will say this was hard. I put an answer down, then I changed it, but 'cause there are so many good rides. But Eve, what's your favorite ride at Magic Kingdom?
Okay, well, I guess I'll cover both of us because I saw that you put down Haunted Mansion. I was like, "Oh, dadgum, that's probably my favorite ride," even though Magic Kingdom, it's iconic. Like, all I love all the little simple old school rides. But Haunted Mansion just I don't know, it makes me think back when I went there as a kid. I went when I was 8 years old. I remember being totally spooked by Haunted Mansion. It really, really scared me. But then going back as an adult, and there's just something, I don't know, like the old school characters, now that they have that Haunted Mansion Disney movie, I think that's really fun to kinda connect that and go through, making faces, and then when you get the PhotoPass pictures and they add in, like, the ghosts and everything like that. There's just something special about Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I had originally put that down as my favorite, and then I changed it because I have so many favorites, but I love the Haunted Mansion. I love the way it smells. It smells an like a grandma's house. Like, it just has that, like, antique smell to it that I love. It's so nostalgic for me.
Yeah, and the little,
But
like, tombstones when you walk in,
uh-huh.
like, we just always it's so simple, but it's just so fun. It's so
It's
enjoyable.
so fun. And a little pro tip, if you love the Haunted Mansion, you should consider doing a Keys to the Kingdom tour because they give you a lot of insight about that ride and take you in a little back entrance, which is really fun.
That's on my bucket list for sure.
Yes, but my favorite ride that I decided to narrow it down to is the People Mover. I love the People Mover so much. I love to just sit on it, slow ride. You get to ride around the top of Tomorrowland. You get to go into Space Mountain. I love where they show you the whole design of what Walt wanted Epcot to be. I think that's so special, where you get to go in over like the Buzz Lightyear ride. I just love everything about it. I love the voice of the man who's explaining these things to you. It's so much fun. I also have a very like iconic memory from that ride. Our first trip to Disney, we were on the People Mover when the fireworks were going off with our boys. And so every time we like came outside, we were like peeking around trying to look at the fireworks. I just love this ride. You don't need a lightning lane. There's never really that long of a wait for it. You can ride it multiple times, no big deal, and it's just a nice place to kind of relax and just take it slow.
Yes, I also love the People Mover, and it's right there by Space Mountain, and I'm just at that point that I don't care to do Space Mountain anymore, but my kids love it, so we're always like, "Oh, let's just go jump on the People Mover, just go up that little escalator, just cruise around." You get that breeze, doing it at
Mhm.
night, so pretty, like, yes, I am with you. People Mover is a great place to go, especially if you have little ones with you. It's
Mhm.
such a nice little break.
It's so fun. You get a great view of the castle. You get to look down at like people at Disney with their families. I love everything about it.
I love that. I love that you picked that as your favorite. You surprised me with that one.
I know. I kind of threw it in at the end. So those are our favorite rides at the four main parks. Moving on, we are going to give our adventure book tip of the week. And this is a ride that you need to do when you need is it respite?
A respite? A little rest?
Respite? Okay.
I think that's
I
how you
saw
say
that and I was
it.
like, Eve's getting fancy on me. Okay, Eve,
Was
so
to try
what
to
is
trick
your
her up.
ride? Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you're trying to just trick me up.
My ride is Winnie the Pooh. It's so stinking cute. I think it's something that can be really easily overlooked if you see it on the list and you're like, "Oh, no, we're not gonna go do that." Go do it. It's fun for all ages. All of my kids like it. We also have several people in our family are huge Winnie the Pooh fans, especially my youngest. And the interactive ride, like we don't ever do the lightning lane for that one because the interactive line is so cute where you can put your hand up there and move the honey around and you're stomping things and gophers are popping up. But it's just kind of and then when you get in the ride, it's kinda quirky, like, it's kinda like that
Yeah,
old school where you're like, "Huh, okay, that's interesting," but, I say Winnie the Pooh, it's adorable.
that's a great ride. We love that ride as well. So mine is Living with the Land. I love this ride over at Epcot. It's a great ride when Epcot can feel really busy up at the front with all where all the rides are and a lot of the shops, and now they have some shows. It can get very overwhelming and busy and hot, especially if you're visiting during a warmer period. I love going into the land pavilion where it's just muted colors, it's a little bit calmer, and then getting on Living with the Land, which is a slow boat ride with like a soothing voice. There's air condition. It is so relaxing. I love it so much. I love going into like the greenhouse and seeing the beautiful plants growing. It's just really nice and a great place, as some of people in my family would say, to take a nap.
I've taken a nap on that ride.
I have a few members who they're like, "Sure, we can go on this ride," and they're like conked out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very relaxing. It's also
It
one I think you can
is.
easily overlook. Like, I
Mhm,
remember I was talking to you one time and you were like, "Go do Living in the Land," and I was like, "What is that? I don't even know what that is." You know, when you're doing all these big rides that you gotta catch Living in the Land because you get that break. There's basically no line. You can almost always walk
mhm,
in when it's hot. You know, you get in the air conditioning, you're on the little like river ride going through. I was fascinated by the greenhouses in there.
mhm,
And then when you and I were there and we went to Geo 82, was that the
mhm.
bar?
Yes,
And they were telling us how they use those, herbs and, some of the veggies and everything. And they're like, in this drink, this is from living on the land. And I was like, that's super cool. I love anything
it
kind
is
of
cool.
sustainable like that.
Yeah, it's a great ride.
Yeah, that's a good rec. All right, awesome. Well, let's share some magical moments from a ride that we've had at Walt Disney World. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine would be I take one-on-one trips with I've done it with all my kids. I've even done it with my husband and taking them on Cosmic Rewind for the first time. Each of them, I will never forget it. They're always so surprised. They all knew this was my favorite ride. Like go into it, which they're a little bit like, is it really that good? Because mom kind of lost her mind. And just the whole atmosphere of it, the pre-show if you've seen it for the first time, it is very cool and then not knowing what song you're going to get. Each song makes the ride feel different. And just experiencing that with each of my kids and my husband was something I will never forget. Fantastic.
That's so great. I love that. All right, awesome. Let's see. My magical moment, I think one of them is when we went and we rode Tron, and then my kids got on to ride it again. And my husband and I sat down on one of the little benches there watching them. And I just had my phone up there. And then every time one would come, I would start my phone on slow mo. And then I'd be like, was that them? Was that them? Nope, delete. I probably did that like 10 times until they came through, but I caught them on slow mo going on Tron and just seeing the pure joy and excitement on their faces in slow mo. Like it's one of those things that's just going to stick in my head.
That's so fun. I love that.
Yeah. And then, of course, I always like taking the silly pictures on when you're on the
Hmm.
ride and they capture them. And that was fun when we went together and we were doing all that and doing our little poses or sleeping or whatever, because those just come out really fun.
Yeah, like learning where the cameras are is really fun. And if you're visiting Disney for the first time and you want to do that, you can find videos on YouTube where they will tell you exactly where all the cameras are on each of the rides. And it's really fun. It's fun to take funny pictures.
Yeah, it is. Making more memories.
Yes, for sure. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us over here. We are so happy for everyone who watches or listens. Make sure that you follow us on our Instagram page at Our Adventure Book Travel. Is that correct? Maybe I'll learn this one day.
That's correct.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, if you could leave us a 5-star review or Spotify, that would be so fantastic. It's really the best way to help us grow the show, and it's the best way to support us, and it's free. So there's no reason not to do it.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Join us every Wednesday for a new episode. And remember, the best stories are the ones you live together. Bye.